Hey mates, in my previous video I have just briefly explained you about how a newsletter example works and all. So in this video I'll be explaining you about how to design and develop this code. Okay, so first code what we have to do is first you have to front end. That is first you have to design the front end, right? So the front end is this one: newsletter members, name field, email field, submit field. Okay, and the border. This is our front end. I don't worry about that PHP code and all. First, let us not worry about that PHP code. First, front end. All the front end, what you do is design in HTML, right? So you have to write this HTML code for developing this type of form. Let us look at that. So I have a file name called index.php. Here I have a newsletter members, that is explore all newsletter, and I have a body here, body tag, and after that you must have a form tag, right? Because if you want to design like this, you must get a form, right? So for that I have a form field, and next legend is to make like this form. Okay, so if you want to design like this, you have to type there legend. And next next is I have a name field. I want this fields, that is two fields, right? One is for name and one is for email. So for name I'll be typing as input, name is equal to name, type is equal to, it is text, right? So maximum length you can put anything, 36 or 20 or nothing, and the value, that is PHP code. Let us discuss later. And next is second is email. Email I want again input, name is equal to email, type is equal to text, max length is equal to something, and value PHP code. I'll be explaining about and next is we have to have a submit button, right? So for that, input name is equal to my submit bdm, type is equal to submit, value is equal to submit. Okay, so that when I hit that submit button, it will be submitting to the database. How I'll tell that. Okay, now we have got this design and all. So that is about front end. And when I hit that, so when I click my name and email, when I submit that, it should go to the database. So first we have to have the connection file to the database. So let us discuss about connection file now. That is our second required file. Here I have discussed about index.php file. Now connection file. So this is my connection file. So the connect to MySQL, MySQL.php, like that. First you have a local host. I think I have discussed in my previous video only. And username, type in username, type in your password, type in your database which you have created. Okay, if you don't know how, you just check back my previous videos from first. Okay, so I have a database called newsletter. So I have two files now. One is index file ready, and second one is a database file. I mean the connection file and index file. I have this one. And next, what I have to do is we have to design it the table, right? First thing is front end. Okay. Next thing is connection file. Done. And third thing is you have to develop the table, because for the name and email it should be inserted into the database, right? So for that you have to have the table in your database. Let us check out the structure of the table, how it should be. So first you must have four fields. You have to just require three fields in common. I'll tell you the three fields. First, you have to have an ID. Okay, ID you have to mention that auto increment, and next is name varchar 255, and email also varchar 255, and next is this received. Date time, this is optional. If you want, you can just hit that. Otherwise, you don't have to mention that. I just wanted when the user is going to be registered, he will register for the newsletter, so that I have used this data. And next is you must have a field called received, because uh, I just told you that whenever you hit the script, everyone will be getting their emails. Emails will be sent to their Gmail automatically. So for that, I will be here having two fields, that is enum 0 or 1. Why this enum 0 or 1 is 0 is which mentions as false, right? 1 is true. Okay. When I hit the script, this received field will be changing to 0 or 1. 0 means email has been not sent, and 1 means email has been sent. I'll I'll explain you about how that working afterwards. So first concentrate on the fields. As I said, you must have three fields. One is ID, and second one is name field, varchar, email varchar, and received, that is enum 0 or 1. Okay, let us browse this. See here, suppose you just take an example. Have an ID name as 5, name as Rajesh, email as rajeshreddy7799 at the rate gmail.com, and received field is 0. Okay, so received field, what this received field tells is if it is 0, email has not been sent to the particular user. Suppose this field is 1, an email has been sent to that particular user. That is how I validate email is sent or not. Okay, I have finished three things now. One is front end, second one is connection file, and third one is table structure. Done, right? And next is the code, a PHP code, so that I have to write the PHP code such that when I type the name and email into the it will be automatically go and sit in the database. I'll discuss about the code right now. Okay, here this is the code. Here on the top, you can, on every file of this is the HTML front end, right? On the front end you will be writing this PHP code. Okay, see here, first I have to have the variables to take this name and email. So that's why I have mentioned here a variable called $name and $email. Okay, and next is $message to user. Why this variable is required is, see here, please type an email address, Rajesh. So in order to validate the user, I have to type a message for that user if it is not entered his email, so that I'll be having this variable called message to user, that is equal to none. Okay, if $post is equal to name is not equal to name. Okay, first, if the user think that if the user has not submitted his name, okay, he has submitted just his email, and then I'll show you that. Suppose I didn't mention my name here, I just entered my something, okay, at the rate of gmail.com something. Okay, so first I didn't mention my name here, so when I submit that, it is going to be submitted. See what happens is, when I submit that, it has been fetched into the database. Okay, what happened there? So if $post of name is not equal to none, then connect to the database. Okay, then connect to my connection script to the database here, and take the name here. $name is equal to $post of name, and $email is equal to $post of email. Why I am mentioning here name and email is because in my front end script I have written the code like that. Okay, where is that? So when you go down here, I have mentioned the name here. Name is equal to name, and here input field name as email. Okay, so that it is going to fetch that name and email here. Okay, whatever you have submitted the name or email, it is going to fetch that into that $name and $email variable. Okay, and you write the SQL code as you have to write a $MySQL query, select star from newsletter where email is equal to email is equal to $email. So what is there in this $email? In this $email, whatever email you have submitted here, it is there, right? So suppose I have entered as rakesh@gmail.com, right? So in this dollar email, I'll be getting here rakesh@gmail.com. So it is going to fetch all the all the emails of IDs from the newsletter table. Think that next, what I have to validate, right? I have to validate the email. Suppose, think that I have didn't entered my email. How I am going to validate? This is how I am going to validate. If not equal to dollar email, what my dollar email contains? rakesh@gmail.com. So I have entered my email. So if it is not, suppose I didn't enter my email, what happens is I have to send the message to the user. So that's why I have mentioned this variable message to the user, and please type an email address, Mr. Dollar name. Dollar name is that person name. So whatever I have entered is name there in my form, it will be rendered here. And next is, suppose if the dollar num rows are greater than 0, right? So in my database I have a lot of columns, right? Rows, sorry, rows. I have many rows here. So if it is greater than 0, if it is greater than 0, then you have to send the message to the dollar email is already in the system. Okay, suppose here if I enter Rajesh, okay, when I click on submit, see here Rajesh Reddy 7799 @gmail.com is already in the system. So this is how you will be getting here. Dollar email is already in the system. Okay, when that happens, if the number rows is greater than 0, means whatever you have submitted that row, whatever you have submitted the row, if it finds that same row there, it is going to fetch or render that email is already in the system. Okay, next is, suppose if all these conditions fail, okay, if the email which I entered is not already in the system, this condition failed, right? Else if condition failed. And suppose uh, if my email is if my email is a valid email, this condition fails. And if my email is already in the system, is not in the system, this condition fails. And finally this condition will be executed. So what is this condition? This condition is nothing but your insert query here. So you have take a variable $sql insert, and this is the variable, and I'll be writing the query mysql query function insert into newsletter name, email, date, time. So at what time, and values $name, $email. Now is the present time, or die mysql error, it will be giving that. So in values, what are the values which I have inserted in the database? That is your name, that is your email, and time. Dollar email will be getting from dollar name post of name, and dollar email is equal to dollar post of email. So from there you'll be getting these values and all. And after that, after successfully inserting into the database, you have to send a message to the user that thanks Mr. Rajesh, you have been added successfully to the newsletter. Okay, this is how it goes. So this is all the PHP code in order to write a successful insert into database values and all. Oh, hey guys, here I didn't validate more over here. You can just validate your email or name and all here. I just validate that if you, I would just wanted the email of the person. Suppose if you want to validate, also validate the name, you can just write the code over here, or validation code here. You can add the validation code here. Okay. And what happens when I hit the submit button? When I hit the submit button, an action is going to take place. That is, in my action field, I have mentioned here echo $server PHP self. Why I mentioned this is I don't want to go to another page. Okay, I don't want to make the script has to run in the same page. Okay, if you want whenever you want the script to run in the same page, you have to write this code as $server php self. Okay, this is how. And method, my method is going to be as post. Okay, and next thing I have discussed about post and get in when I was talking about the PHP. Okay, and next thing is this value is you have to get that value, right? So we have to, so that I have written here php echo dollar name, php echo dollar email, so that I'll be getting that value which we have entered into a variable, that is dollar name and dollar email. And when you hit the my submit button, this php self takes place on the script will be running on the same page, and the information will be successfully inserted. So that is how we have to design this newsletter examples and all. Okay, okay guys, so thank you, and let's meet in our